Hello, redesigners. It's Monday, right? It's Monday. I hardly know what day it is these days. I was sick for like a week, and so I think it's Monday. I'm pretty sure it's Monday. And today I'm going to show you a little sneak peek of the new decor stamps. They're called clearly aligned decor stamps, and they're really exciting. And there's a couple different ways you can use them. If you've ever used stamps from other companies, similar type stamps for home decor and furniture and things like that, then you probably are used to, the rubber stamps that you put on a acrylic block or something rigid in order to stamp them onto your surfaces. So these are similar, but they're a little bit different. So the decor stamps are, they're a little more rigid. So they're still flexible, but they're a little bit more rigid, and that allows you to stamp around curves and, things that are not necessarily flat. And so I will show you, I have a few styles here, but I'm only going to show you a little bit. I'll show you this one because I'll show you part of this one because I already posted a picture of the sneak peek of what this one looks like. Wait, no, not this one. Was it this one? No, this one. I already posted a sneak peek of what this one looks like, and this is not the whole design, it's just part of it. So this one is one of my favorites. It's like it's like a damask wallpaper-y type pattern, and it's really pretty. So I'm not really sure which one we're going to use today. So I've got a practice board because I'm not sure which color I want to stamp on my piece yet. So I'm not going to go straight to my furniture until I know which color I want to use. So I painted my board here, the color that my piece is going to be. And I plan on using the decor stamps on 2 out of the 3 drawers. So the top drawer and the bottom drawer. Right in here, and then the other drawer is a little bit larger, so I can use 2 different stamp styles, and the other one is not quite ready. I need another coat on it, so we're just gonna peep this one out today. But I am going to show you some different how to use the decor stamps, because there are a couple different ways you can use it depending on whether you want to use a stamp pad or if you want to use your custom color or a paint color, and I'll show you how to use the paint too. So let's go ahead and start with this one since I haven't decided which one I want to use on my draw yet. So if you're hopping on, say hello. Hi, everybody. I'll try to answer questions, but less talking and more stamping, huh? So let's just practice with this one, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'll tilt you down here, and let's grab our practice board. So like I said, anytime you're using a new product or anything like that, it's probably smart to, let me tilt you down. It's probably like most smartest to use a test board real quick before you move on to your actual real piece of real life furniture or art or whatever you're creating. So let's go ahead and check out our little sample board here. So, excuse me. Alright, so here's our stamp. And there's 2 ways that we can use our stamps. And at the end I'll show you a couple little other designs. Not the whole thing, and it's just a sneak peek, but I'll show you some other designs too. So there's going to be a few different colors of the ink pads, okay? So this is one of the Redesign with Prima ink pads. And let's go ahead and start with how to stamp it using the ink pad. So see what I told you? I told you they're rigid enough that you don't need an acrylic block, because let's face it, who's going to get a gigantic acrylic block for this? It's rigid enough that you can stamp it without the block, or, if you want to go around curves, you're going around a curvy chest, you can stamp around curves. So that's pretty awesome, right? So in order to use a stamping pad, here's what I've found best, and there's probably other ways to do this, but this is how I have found the most easiest. So your stamp pad is obviously not big enough for the stamp. So what I do is I take my stamp pad, which I hope is not dried up because it's been a while since I used it, but I'm going to go ahead and just put my ink all over my stamp. I hope it's not dried up. Let's see. Let's throw a little bit of water on it and see if that helps. It's been a while since I used this bad boy. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I feel like when you use the stamp pads like this, you get a much more distressed type look. So it's, yeah, you can get a perfect impression, a nice clean impression, but it's a little bit more, oh, I don't know, aged looking, I guess, especially when your stamp pad's dried up. Okay. So let's see. Let's go ahead and, oh, now we're just going to carefully take our stamp and I'm going to try to place it down lightly without moving it around. You know, you want a nice clear impression. You don't want it all fuzzy if you can help it. So just kind of go around and stamp, press firmly with my hands and get that impression on there. Oops, I might have moved that one around a little bit too much. And then I like to pull up from two corners and, yeah, my stamp pad's a little dried up. But can you see that? Can you imagine the impression it would have given had I had ink on my, not dried up ink on my stamp pad? Maybe I'll turn it this way. So you can see, you know, you can see how pretty that would have been. I might have to get a refill for my ink. Anyways, so that's one way. You can use a ink pad to use on your stamp. So that's method number one. And then for method number two, which is probably, I'm going to be honest, is probably going to be the most popular, just my opinion, that's not a fact, just my opinion, only because there's so many different projects you could be working on that I feel like in order to customize, you know, the most, you want to match your project. So that would mean you would be using a custom or a paint color. It doesn't have to be custom, a paint color. So I'm going to go ahead and look at that. Would you know I picked copper, which is the same color as our ink. So I think I really want to use copper on this project. With the navy would look really pretty, but I can't decide, like I said. So I also brought a gold, and this one is called Stardust. Oh, you guys, these metallics are like liquid metal. They're so amazing. Okay, so let's just go ahead and, we're going to start with the copper because that's one I'm really leaning towards, but I'm not positive. So let's go ahead and start with that and see how that does us. Okay, so I like to use this is a roller brush from Redesign with Prima. Okay, I think it's like, I want to say maybe 10, 12 bucks or something like that from a retailer. It's a long-handled foam roller brush, and this is foam, so there's no nap, which means you can get a nice clean roll on without the globs and goops and yucky stuff and drips of paint. So I like to take a little paint on a plate. It comes with this fancy schmancy little acrylic plate that you can pour your paint onto. I don't know what I did with that fancy schmancy acrylic plate, so I'm just using paper plates because I'm not that fancy. So when you're applying the paint, you want to make sure that you press down in there and get the paint to go up in your roller. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't want it dripping off all over the place. You want it to be in there, squished up in the roller, so that it's, you know, you can roll it on the back of your stamp, and you don't get, you know, goops and globs like I was telling you about. So let's try. There, much better. See, that's much better than with a dried out ink pad, huh? Mama's gonna have to get a new ink pad. But look at that copper. Ooh, boy, that's pretty. Okay, so I'm just rolling it on gently. I'm not pressing, I'm not squishing it on there. I'm not trying to be, you know, use any sort of pressure. I'm just lightly rolling it on there so I can get a nice even coverage. And you can see how with this method, more so than the stamp pad, especially a dried up one, you can get more even coverage, you know, less of a aged kind of look, okay? So let's go ahead and start. Let's start a new impression here and see what we get with the copper. I can't decide if I want to use copper or one of these other colors. We're going to overlap it a little bit just to save some space. Okay, so gently press it on there, firmly kind of press just a little bit. But try not to move it around. You don't want a fuzzy wuzzy stamp if you can help it. And then we're gonna lift it up from two sides. Try not to move it. Oh, and look at that. It's so pretty. See, that makes up totally for our dried up stamp pad, doesn't it? Look how pretty that is. Oh, well, there goes our stamp. See how pretty that is? And the way they're designed, at least most of the designs, there's plenty of designs, trust me. But the ones like this, they're designed, you know, that are a pattern. They're designed to be seamless. So on my next impression, I just need to line it up right here and then right here if I want to cover a large space and make it look seamless. All I gotta do is line it up and line it up, okay? So that's the copper. Ooh, this color is called Couture Copper. It is a metallic from Paint Couture Paint Company, and it's pretty. I'm pretty sold on this color, so I don't want to jump the gun, but I'm probably going to end up using copper. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. But for S&G, we're going to go ahead and move on to another color just to make sure we, you know, haven't put all our eggs in one basket. All right, so I got my paper plate again. I got another, excuse me, roller. Let's go ahead and do, okay, I'm gonna show you another design or part of one. And we're gonna do some, ooh, okay, ooh, okay. Hold on, just wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. We are going to do a, wait, is that a bumblebee? Yeah, bumblebees have legs like that? I guess so. Shows you how much I know about my insects. Bumblebee, a little butterfly, because who doesn't love a good butterfly, and a dragonfly, because who doesn't love a good dragonfly? So again, if you're just hopping on, you can put these on the acrylic blocks like traditional other brand stamps, but you don't have to. You can, they're rigid enough, we can just use them just like this. You don't have to put them on a block of any sort, and they conform to curves because they're still bendy. Okay, so let's try this in maybe one or two different colors, and then I'll decide which pattern I want to use on my drawer. I'm really liking this one. I just don't know if it's going to fit in my space that I need to cover on my drawer face, so we will we'll figure that out in a sec. First, let's go ahead and, so I got my foam roller. Let's go ahead and try pale gold is actually pretty close. Let's try pale gold first because it's pretty close to my copper, and I just want to make sure I don't use pale gold instead of copper. Gotta rule out all the options to know we're making the right one, right? Am I right? Gotta weigh all your options. Okay, so again, you want to press that paint into your roller, okay? Soak it up real good, because you don't want it dripping off your foam roller. That's not so good. And then let's try a little dragonfly. He's pretty. He's pretty cute. Okay, and so we're just going to roll over our dragonfly. Okay, and then once we got him covered on the back, we'll just lift him, place him, and firmly kind of press our impression onto our surface. Okay, and then we'll just gently pick him up, and there's a little dragonfly. So that's pale gold, very pretty. To wash these, you can just rinse them under warm water, maybe a little bit of dish soap if you want. I like to use a scrubby soap. You can also use, you know, a little brush, little like those brushes that you use for, like a toothbrush or something, or one that you use for dishes. They clean super easy. And then, so that's our gold. I'll show you. I don't know, you guys. I think I'm digging the copper though. What do you think? So the gold is pretty. It's just a little bit more muted. I think the copper is a little more brilliant. But we're gonna roll out one more color and then we're gonna do our drawer, okay? So let's try one more color just to make sure, because I honestly could not decide, and I use this color on my paint pour on the top of this piece, so I feel like using it on the stamps would make a little bit of sense. But you know, when using metallics, it's like you can't really go wrong, right? Cannot go wrong. So got another foam roller here. It's a Redesign with Prima foam roller brush. Best thing ever. All right, and we're gonna get our Stardust on there. That color's called Stardust. I know you can't really see so much on the brush, but isn't that pretty? Woo! Dang, I know. So far, I love the copper too, Maria. It's probably the winner, but you know, like I said, we just gotta make sure. We don't want to make any hasty decisions, so we got to make sure we are ruling out the other options. Okay, so butterfly in the sky. Gotta get my hair off there. My hair is stuck in one of the stamp impressions. All right. So gently press. Whoop! I kind of move that one around a little bit, so he might not be totally crisp. We'll see. And then our little bee. Oh, he's so cute. I love bees. And you can use an acrylic block or a wood block or whatever kind of block you want if you really want to, but you don't have to. It's the beauty of the clearly aligned stamps. Lift it up. Oh, that's pretty too. Man, making my job hard today, folks. Making my job so hard. Look how pretty the Stardust is. Isn't that pretty too? I think we're gonna have to go with copper though. Like, I think that's kind of a must. Look how pretty the Stardust is though. And that's the copper. Stardust, copper. So, okay, now that we have got our color chosen, because we're gonna go with copper, most of the times I end up going with my first instinct. That's just how it be, you know? I always, well, not always, but most of the time my first instinct is what I end up doing. So we'll grab our copper, roll it up on our roller, press it in real good. And I think, let's see, there's a couple of different options we can do. Now, this is my drawer front. Let's see which way is up for you. This way? This way is up for you. So let's stick with that. All right, so I've got a few different patterns here, and I'm not sold on one or another exactly. And I can't show you too much because guess what? There are other people out there that want to show you sneak peeks, so I can't show them all to you. That wouldn't be cool. Oh yeah, I could do copper and Stardust. Yeah, I could definitely do that. I don't know. Just the copper on this dark. I don't know. Usually when I can't make a decision, what I do is I use both. And so you wouldn't be totally out of line for saying that. But I think I'm going to stick with copper. I kind of have my heart set on it. So, but see this inset area here, right here? That's where I want to do my stamping. And I want to avoid the edges because eventually it's going to get sealed and then maybe some wax. Maybe I'll do the details in Stardust because there's lots of details on this bad boy. So maybe those will get done in Stardust. But I'm going to go ahead and tape off where I don't want to get my stamped ink or impressions. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to accidentally have to worry about the fact that I have to touch up. I guess you could touch up. So most of the stamps are a little bit wider than this, okay? So let's just say we use that one. Well, it's a little bit wider than what we want to use, okay? This one is like, so if you guys are liking the distressed lace stencil that's now retired, this is like the distressed lace stencil, except it's a stamp. So there you go. There's an option for you if you can't find the distressed lace. So real quick, let me just take this off. I should have had that done before, but guess what? I'm perpetually running behind, so give me a little bit of a break. I've been sick for like a week. It's not been cool at all. Not cool at all. All right, so let me just tape these off real quick. And I think I'm just gonna end up using, gosh, I guess, no, you know what? For this, for my other drawer, this first stamp that we used, on the other drawer that I'm stamping, it's the perfect width, like this way. So I think I'm gonna use this one on the other drawer, which means we can use this fancy schmancy lace guy here. Now we just gotta figure out if we wanna do it this way or this way. I don't know. We'll figure that out in just a second. Just a sec. Let's see. So I'm taping off, like I said, my little areas that I do not want excess copper on. And you know, you don't have to tape it off. You could always just touch up if you wanted to around the edges if you think you're gonna get just a little bit messy, but I get a lot messy, so we're just gonna prepare for the worst. These are really cool on drawer sides too, the stamps. They're like the perfect size for little peekaboo drawers. If you want to do drawers on your sides of your furniture. So there's that. And I think I'm going to eventually do, I've been pouring a lot of resin tops, so I think I want to do some like gold stamping embedded in several layers of resin for like a dimensional. I think that would be really cool. Really, really cool. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and use our, let's just stick with what we were thinking and go, do you want to go this way or this way? Let's go this way. And so what we'll do is we'll press our stamp down in there and then lift it. Or do we want to go, no, we're going to go this way. Okay, so go ahead and make sure I've got plenty of paint in my roller, but you know, it needs to be in there enough that it's not dripping off. We don't want no drips. And I'm just going to be using this part of it, so we just need to roll the top. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I love copper, and I love these stamps. Oh, it's so pretty. So I hope this works out the way I want it to. All right, so let us scoochy. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and this is gonna be tricky since I'm trying to keep part of it out of the, part of it won't all fit. So it's gonna be a little tricky, but we just gotta be gentle. Gentle, you don't wanna move it around too much, but press kind of firmly so you get all your impressions on there and pretty. Okay. I'm going to gently pull it up and out and hope that we got a decent impression. I'm happy with that. So now all we got to do is add some more paint to our, what's it called? Stamp. Okay. Mo paint, mo paint, mo paint. Okay. Then now we got to line it up. So let's see. Which way did we go? This way? Shoot. This way. So now we got to line it up as best we can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but these are super easy to line up. I mean, I'm going to start by lining it up over here where it actually touches, and then I'm going to kind of gently lay it down. Gently. Press firmly. All over. Make sure we get our impression on there well. And all the spots touching the whole surface. Then I'm going to gently just pull her up. Boom. So there's our second impression. See how it lines up right here? I probably will take my stamp and just redo that little corner right there to fill in that hole, but that's easy enough. So let's see if we can do that real quick. We just want to fill in this little corner here. Okay, and we're just going to stamp, gently stamp that little. This could be a disaster, so I don't suggest trying to restamp necessarily, but you know, if you try it, may the force be with you. I'm just going to stamp this little area about the size of my thumb here, and that's it. Okay, so much better, much better. Now I just got one little section here to go, and that will be my stamp, my stamped drawer. Okay, so I'm just gonna apply a little bit more paint with my roller, just like we did a minute ago. And I guess I didn't have to put it on the whole thing here. We're just gonna line it up over here. And we're going to press down. You're gonna make sure when you're pressing down in a tight little area like this, you don't let up until you're ready to release it, because if you let it up and it comes up and you try to press it down, you're gonna get a fuzzy wuzzy line or not a clear impression, and you might be mad. So we just wanna make sure you're firmly pressing it all down, and then when you're ready to be done and take it up, then take it all up, okay? Boom. So, that is our stamped drawer. So now I will just seal this. So I did this directly onto the paint. I'll just seal it and then, you know, add my hardware. I might do a glaze. I don't know. Don't know. So super exciting. Loving the stamps. They're a lot of fun to play with, and there's so many other things I thought about showing you, and I was like, I don't have time on this video, but you know, adding embossing mediums and glitters and using adhesives to roll on your stamp, and then you can use foils or gold leaf, you know, applying your adhesive with the stamp and then using gold leaf. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. So they should be coming out at the very end of the month. So from now until then, you'll be seeing some more designs of the stamps from different content creators and brand ambassadors. So thank you for hanging out with me for a little while, and I will be right back here next Monday at noon, and we'll do some more fun things, Redesign with Prima. So have a good week. Bye.